The night was quiet when Mariah's father shoved her into the back of the rusty pickup truck. 16 years old, heavy-set, and carrying the weight of rejection on her shoulders, she barely understood what was happening. All she knew was that her father's bitter voice kept repeating the same words, "You're worthless. Maybe someone else will deal with you." He had always seen her as a burden, her size, her silence, her sadness. Tonight, his cruelty reached its breaking point. Mariah sat trembling, clutching the faded flannel shirt wrapped around her like a shield. The truck rattled down the dirt road until it stopped at a ranch that looked swallowed by endless fields. A man stood waiting in the shadows, tall, broad-shouldered, with weathered hands that told a story of labor and loss. Her father exchanged a few harsh words with him, then drove away without looking back. Mariah's chest tightened as she watched the taillights disappear into the night. She had been sold, discarded like something broken. She braced herself for more cruelty from the stranger, for more shame, more pain. But instead, the man simply said, in a calm voice, "My name's Thomas. Let's get you inside." He didn't raise his voice. He didn't demand anything. He just led her to the ranch house, where the smell of wood smoke and stew lingered in the air. Mariah's eyes darted nervously, expecting hidden traps. Yet Thomas only handed her a bowl of food and said, "Eat if you want. Rest if you need. You're safe here." Safe. The word echoed in her mind like something she'd never known before. Days turned into weeks, and Mariah's suspicion remained. She tiptoed around the house, never sure if kindness was real. But Thomas never pushed. He gave her chores, simple ones, feeding the chickens, gathering eggs, brushing the horses. At first, she fumbled and cried, convinced she'd fail. But Thomas would quietly step in, not to scold, but to guide. "Everyone starts somewhere," he'd say. It was the horses that changed her first. Towering, powerful creatures, yet they leaned into her hands as if they knew her heart was gentle. Mariah began talking to them in whispers, telling them her fears, her secrets. They listened without judgment. Slowly, her own reflection in their dark, steady eyes felt less like a stranger. One evening, as the sun painted the fields in gold, Thomas sat beside her on the porch. After a long silence, he finally spoke words she never expected. "Your father didn't sell you to me," he said softly. "He gave me money to take you far away. He didn't want you back. But I couldn't bring myself to leave you anywhere. I thought maybe here, you'd find something he couldn't give you." Mariah's breath caught in her throat. She looked at him, confusion and fear battling inside her. "Why?" she whispered. Thomas's weathered face softened. "Because no one deserves to be thrown away. I lost my daughter years ago. She was about your age. Maybe I couldn't save her, but maybe I can give you the chance she never had." Tears blurred Mariah's vision. For the first time, someone wasn't asking her to shrink, to disappear, to apologize for existing. Someone saw her not as a burden, but as a life worth protecting. From that night on, something in her began to shift. She started waking earlier, working harder. She laughed for the first time in years, an awkward, shaky laugh, but real. Thomas never commented on her body, never shamed her. Instead, he noticed her patience with animals, her determination to finish tasks, her quiet resilience. Months passed, and the ranch flourished in ways Thomas hadn't expected. The horses grew calmer under Mariah's care. The hens laid more eggs when she sang to them. And the house, once heavy with silence, filled with a warmth neither of them thought they'd feel again. But the true test came one autumn afternoon, when Mariah's father returned. His truck rumbled up the dusty road, his face twisted with the same bitterness. He demanded she come back, not out of love, but because he realized he could use her labor. For a moment, the old fear clawed at Mariah's chest. She wanted to run, to hide. But Thomas stepped between them, his voice steady and firm. "She's not yours to take," he said. "Not anymore." Her father sneered. "She'll never amount to anything. Look at her, she's nothing but trouble." Mariah's knees trembled, but then she saw the horses gathered by the fence, the chickens pecking near the porch, the house that had become home. She took a deep breath and, for the first time in her life, found her voice. I'm not nothing, she said, her voice shaking but growing stronger with every word.
I'm learning. I'm helping. I belong here. And I will never go back with you.
Her father stared, stunned, as if he couldn't recognize the daughter he had once silenced. Thomas's presence beside her was steady, unyielding. And in that moment, Mariah realized that family wasn't about blood. It was about those who chose to stand with you, who chose to see you. Her father spat on the ground and drove away, his anger fading into the horizon. And Mariah, though her heart still raced, felt something she had never felt before: freedom. Years later, the ranch became known as a place of refuge. Not just for animals, but for kids like Mariah, those cast aside, those who carried scars no one else could see. Thomas and Mariah welcomed them, teaching them that worth wasn't measured in size, or mistakes, or the cruelty of others, but in kindness, resilience, and love. Mariah grew into a woman of strength, her laughter now full and unapologetic, her presence commanding not because of her weight but because of her spirit. And whenever new children arrived, frightened and broken, she would take their hands and whisper the same words that once saved her. "You're safe here.